Your father Abraham rejoiced at the thought of seeing my day. He saw it and was glad. You're not yet 50 years old, they said to him, and you seen Abraham? Very truly I tell you, Jesus answered, before Abraham was born, I am. Jesus existed before Abraham, and Abraham before Jesus. How did Jesus and Abraham meet? There is one story that might prove Jesus and Abraham actually did meet. And let's read it. Genesis chapter 14, verse 18 through 20. And it says, and Melchizedek, king of Salem, the priest of the Most High God, took bread and wine, and blessing him said, may the blessings of the Most High God, maker of heaven and earth, be on Abraham, and let the Most High God be praised, who has given into your hand those who were against you. Then Abraham gave him a tenth of everything. So if we go back, let's read that. In Genesis chapter 14, verse 17, Abraham had just defeated a kingdom. And as their men were getting ready to leave, they came across a man. In Genesis chapter 14, verse 18, it says a man named Melchizedek, the king of Salem, brought out bread and wine, and he was a priest of God Most High. And the next verse it says, and he blessed Abraham, saying, blessed be Abraham by God Most High, creator heaven and earth. So is this Melchizedek Jesus? He was the king of Salem. He had bread and wine like Jesus did. It's like he had communion with Abraham. He was a priest of God, and Abraham gave him a tenth of offerings. Now in the scriptures, all of God's priests were never kings except one, that is the Messiah. So we see Melchizedek, a king and a priest. In Psalms chapter 110, verse 4, it says, the Lord had made an oath, and he will not take it back. You are a priest forever, after the order of who? Melchizedek. So the Lord has sworn, and he won't change his mind, because he is a priest forever. And then if we go to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, tell me who this description is of. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. For to us a child has come, to as a son is given, and the government he has been placed in his hand, and he has been named Wise Guide, Strong God, Father forever, Prince of Peace. That's talking about the Messiah. And the Messiah is Jesus, the Prince of Peace. And let's go even further until after Genesis, all the way to 200 years later, 2,000 years later. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 6, verse 20. Who is Melchizedek? Is it Jesus? Well, in Hebrews chapter 6, verse 20, it says, where Jesus has gone before us as a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So, where our front runner, Jesus, has entered on our behalf, he became a high priest forever after he was crucified and rose from the dead. And let's go even further. In Hebrews chapter 7, verse 1 through 3, it says, Melchizedek, the king of Salem, a priest of the Most High God, who gave Abraham his blessing, meeting him when he came back after putting the king to death, whom Abraham gave tenth of everything which he had, being first named King of Righteousness, and then, in addition, King of Salem, that is to say, King of Peace, being with no father, or no mother, or no genealogy, having no birth or end to his life, being made like the Son of God, is a priest forever. Interesting. In Hebrew chapter 7 verse 1, this Melchizedek was the king of Salem and a priest of the God Most High. He met Abraham returning from the defeats of the king and blessing him. And then Abraham gave him a tenth of everything. Well, if you didn't know, the word Melchizedek in Hebrew means king of righteous. Then also king of Salem in Hebrew means the king of peace. And he was without a father or a mother, without genealogy, without a beginning of days or ends of life, resembling the Son of God. He remains of peace forever. Who is this Melchizedek? Is he Jesus? Melchizedek isn't a name, it's a description. So Abraham meets the King of Righteousness, and he is also the King of Peace, with no mom and dad, no genealogy, without beginning of days or end of life. Now, if Jesus showed up in the Old Testament, it would be here. Now, it's said in Hebrew chapter 7 verse 3 that he resembled the Son of God. The Greek word for that means to be a motto or a copy of something. So this Melchizedek was another copy or motto of Jesus, because Jesus was born through Mary He always existed even before he was born of Mary, and looked like he could have shown up to meet Abraham in the form of Melchizedek. What do you think? Did Jesus show up in the Old Testament? Did he meet Abraham? Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. God bless you.